There are no one like fans, and that's why Sky Bet are giving you weekly free bets and boosts all season long. So make sure you click the link in the description and take advantage of these great offers. Sky Bet for the fans.
I don't know if you boys have seen this change of a Tottenham march on Spurs early on today. Yeah, probably about 3,000 or 4,000 Spurs fans have got together for the first time I've ever seen us that active.
It's good. It's a lot.
To this active. We're generally quite a passive fan base and just sort of pay the money, go and moan and just go home.
Can I ask you a question there? Sorry if this is stupid.
The whole point, just for people that don't know what it is, Change of Tottenham's like a movement about trying to adjust the way Daniel Levy operates at the football club.
Is it down to the fact they're bad sign? It's because it can't be about investment. It can't just be you're not investing enough because you spent a lot of money. It's about his strategy.
So, people will obviously look towards the amount of money and the spend. And it's much more complex than that. It's about if you want to look in terms of money, it's essentially about wage spend. So we had a 30 million wage cut in the summer. We don't pay the wages of the teams we're trying to compete with, and we're never in the conversation to buy class players. There's no world, not class players, but players like I'll use this example over and over again.
As good as it's going to get, rather than
and by what you were saying earlier, Maddison perhaps isn't going to get us where we need to go. That's not to take anything away from his performance today and all that sort of stuff, but we're not. We don't operate in the same player pool when trying to buy players as someone like Arsenal. Now you might say, well, Arsenal historically won more and they're a different type of football club. Maybe that is the case, but they don't earn more money than us.
So what's your highest earner? Son?
We've only got 3 players. We've got 3 players over 100,000.
Right.
That's crazy, right? We've got no one over 200.
But I'm not trying to wind you up. It's like, but you still got fantastic players that are on. You sign the player, a bit like Liverpool do a very similar thing. It's not like there aren't many clubs in the Premier League that go out and sign. Haaland came in ready to go. It doesn't happen even at City. City have signed Porto's midfielder. City have signed a guy from Lens.
Tottenham should be signing.
Tottenham just got Bayern Munich's winger option to buy. You've got Nottingham Forest best winger in Brennan Johnson. You got Solanke from Bournemouth. Like, you're still plucking some of the best talent in world football.
No,
we're not.
That's
on the precipice of coming. On the precipice of being at that level.
It's all potential and young, isn't it?
Porro and
potential. But
Man City doing the same thing.
Man City do the same thing. But they also sign like proven, ready to go players.
Not as many.
City dine at a different table to Spurs. Sorry,
mate. The point he's making here is fair. I think
everyone does.
When Tottenham buy players, the ceiling, however good you think he is, the ceiling is James Maddison is like as good as it's going to get. They should actually be buying brilliant, proven.
And Maddison was bought off an opportunity. It was because he's a relegated side. He's available for a release fee. And
when Arsenal went to sign Declan Rice, that was like the proven player.
That's the key.
Tottenham never linked with a player like that.
That's the key, right? So Declan Rice was never going to come to Spurs.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I know. Yeah. I understand. But Declan Rice was never going to come to Spurs. But if you take that talent and put it into another player, and he had no affiliation or no prior feelings about Tottenham as a West Ham player, Arsenal are looking at a player at that level, and that makes sense. Tottenham look at him, and it don't make sense, and that's the problem. We're never going to operate in a way, with Daniel Levy in charge, in a way that means that we're going to sign players that mean Tottenham can be in the title race.
Your successful period under Poch, right, that was based off similar recruitment, buying good young players.
Yeah, but it worked. I mean, like sometimes things can come together, and the perfect storm arises. They produced a player like Harry Kane. Harry Kane came through, so the one genuinely world-class player that they had came through the youth ranks.
But they had a lot of like the Alderweireld's, the Vertonghen's, Ericsson.
Yeah.
Like you were plucking players from Ajax, really good players.
No,
right?
it's the same. You're right. It was the same process. But we did have Harry Kane, who is the best player we've ever had at the football club, right? So you had that, and then you had pre-existing players like Ericsson and Son, who were both suddenly...
And then a Gem Dele Ali, it worked with Ali.
And then you had a manager who could make it all gel. Like Pochettino, all of those things were a perfect team. When people who are critical of Daniel Levy will say he got lucky.
So you're saying you want more experienced signings in the 28, 29-year-old category ready to go right now? Is that the issue?
I want him to operate in a way that means that success is the first thing he thinks about when he runs our football club, like other teams do, like Manchester City do. Like
not us.
But with all due
Don't say us.
Whether you get it right or wrong is not
anymore.
You're not going to compete with those. Like with all due, I'm not trying to.
That's the
Why
point.
not?
The reason not is because of the wages.
If I'm player X and United come in for me, let's say United don't want anything been for years. They're still a huge club.
course.
Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal all ahead of you.
Right, yeah, but
It's not your fault. It's just you haven't won anything in a long time. So it's not your fault.
No,
it's not about that.
But they could compensate by paying wages.
But I think I'm looking at it optimistically. You've gone the next rung down is getting the top tier on the precipice of being top fantastic. You've got 2 fullbacks, a young keeper in Vicari. You've got the centre backs Van der Ven, fantastic talent.
Yeah, but
I think he's doing almost as much as he can with Spurs.
No, look, I think
you're never signing Declan Rice, even if you bid 125 million.
No, not now. Obviously, you're not. But you've got to move towards a world where that might be possible. Otherwise, what's the point?
But Liverpool do the same thing. They had to get, Diaz wasn't a proven player. Jota came from Wolves. Salah came from Roma.
A great example of what they did.
They also went to sign Van Dijk, didn't they?
That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, but
70 million.
70 million
Best defender
pounds
in the league.
and they bought Alisson in that same window and you're like, well, that's a team that sort of know what's going on and know what they're doing. And it's just, and ultimately, if you look at it, of a club the size of Spurs, who claim to be a part of the Big Six, who generate money that means they legitimately are in that Big Six, if that's important, have won League Cup in 25 years. When all of you lot have had an abundance.
It's when you had Poch in a position. Sorry, we'll go on.
I was just going to say, it's one trophy in the whole of the Daniel Levy. Even if, Booth, let's say that your theory is correct here. Tottenham have won one trophy.
A League Cup, no less.
A League Cup under Levy. So even if your theory is correct, that he's doing as good as he can do, the trophy tally proves that he's not.
Look, Flav's right.
And do you know the season? Do you know the season where I think it's really stark?
What you're saying is the argument, though.
Like to prove it the other way. No. I think a lot of people agree with you.
Yeah,
I think in fact I disagree with you, and I think Flav does. But the majority of people I think agree with you. People that don't support Tottenham agree with you.
Yeah.
But the point where I think it really is apparent, where there is no conjecture. Pochettino, by hook or by crook, got that team to a Champions League final. The summer after that, they didn't sign a player. Literally not any improvement. No.
That's on Levy. That's where you're spot on.
Just to give some context to that, though, but when we didn't sign a player, the reasoning was the stadium and Brexit at that time. So the stadium cost £1 billion. They were saying, look, there's no money for transfers. However, Levy did say that the stadium wouldn't affect transfer policy and that money's ring fenced. And then we didn't see anything of it. And then there's no information as to why we didn't sign players. So whatever the truth is, we never knew it. And then people are naturally going to act negatively around it. So
it's weird as well, because the manager that you have backed in the transfer market that kind of conforms to what Buvey's saying is Postecoglou.
Yeah.
Postecoglou has been given money.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've given money. If you're going to give money to somebody, Pochettino proved himself and proved that he deserved money.
Definitely.
If you're going to give money to anyone, give it to Mourinho. The track record is there.
Yeah. Do you see our window for Mourinho? I can't remember. Bale was an outlier, but he was old and tired. We signed, I can't remember, it was the Doherty on the right-hand side. I can't remember the players, but they weren't.
If you're going to give anyone money,
it's Conte
it might as well be Mourinho,
Mourinho.
mightn't it?
Or Conte,
or Pochettino off the back of what he proved.
And this is it. And so if we're stepping away from what we understand Spurs to be, which is 4 or 5 really good years and positive years under Pochettino, and then saying, all right, we're going to do the Jose Mourinho route or Conte route, but we're not going to back them or give them what they need, then the buck has to come back to Daniel Levy. And it's just this consistent number
What's he lacking in the squad then, out of interest? Like, what is it, the keeper? Or what is it?
Well, the average age of our squad is like 20, 22,
There's
20.
too many young players
23.
that are on the fringes of being top level talent. Is Solanke an issue for you?
Not at all. But the priority was buying these young players who aren't quite ready yet. And that's fine as long as there is a significant upgrade of the squad with first team ready players, and it wasn't there. That's what it is.
Does Tell get you closer in terms of like he's a potential? I know he's young, but
he's 19 years old.
Munich, he's a talent for Bayern.
If he does well, he's not at Spurs next season.
This protest today, do you think it's going to have any impact?
Nah,
like there's a sit-in, isn't there? Like
probably not. I mean, is he going to sell? Is he going to leave the football club? No, it's just too much money of it, and he owns 30% of it along with his family.
There was some talk about potential
Qatari
someone kind of coming in and buying a percentage. Is that still the case?
I don't know, man. Maybe he isn't going to leave, but could he adjust the way he operates based on these protests? He has to know that they're there. This is a growing sentiment that he doesn't want. He doesn't want to go to a stadium and hear these chants against him.
Do you think that's true?
So he may operate.
I wonder if that's true, because obviously Chelsea are having a similar thing going on at the moment.
Yeah,
and I'm going to sound really defeatist here. But I just think these billionaires don't give a does he realistically care? He's going to be in a chauffeur-driven car back to Totteridge, and he will not care that they're just sitting. He'll barely know about it.
They see the ground full as well.
I hope I'm wrong here, but I just don't think that they'll care.